I want you to do these things that I'm telling you. If you incorporate these things with the common sense stuff, you're going to have some weight loss. You're going to feel better. We think weight loss, but we don't think we want to feel better. I don't care. I don't care if I feel like shit. Don't want to look like shit. Well, that's kind of scary. It would kind of suck if you got to the weight you wanted to be, but you got fucking, got some mental problems going on because of it. Or you've got fucking blood sugar issues out the ass, passing out everywhere. That's not fun. All right? You got to get your blood sugar balanced out, and you do that by eating healthy fats, protein, minimal carbs, and minimal sugar. And your fruits included in that. Stay away from those higher sugar fruits. You want a banana, you want some of the higher sugar fruits, grapes and stuff, do it in the middle of the fucking day when you're the most active, or before you're going to do something super active, right? Where it's going to be a fuel in your body that's used and burned. If not, it's going to sit there. It's going to make your ass bigger. We don't want that, okay? Clean sources of meat, clean protein. Protein's important. Muscle fights fat, okay? Muscle helps you burn more calories and helps your metabolism. Protein's important. Dinner needs to be your smallest, lightest meal of the day, preferably with 0 carbs at all. Hello, Janna here. How are you doing today? Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. You know I do. And hey, if you love my podcast, do me a favor. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, will you also download and subscribe to this podcast on a podcast platform as well? It helps me out tremendously. Share it with a friend, loved one, if you also enjoy it. And it means the world to me. It helps me out a lot because I want to keep on sharing. I want to keep on giving. I have a lot to share. And I don't think that anything that we overcome, all the adversities that are sent our way to be our teachers, when we choose via free will to learn from them as they were sent to teach us, I believe that part of that is also then sharing the wisdom and the inspiration in your story with others. And so that's what I'm doing. I really love teaching and helping others feel their very best, right? So, I talk a lot about mindset, a lot about relationships, but first and foremost, I was a nutritionist, holistic nutritionist. I did that for a long time. And that came about through overcoming chronic Lyme disease, for those of you who maybe don't know my full story. And so I don't really talk about nutrition as much, but it is absolutely still a passion of mine. I think I did it for just a really long time. And after the overcoming the earth shattering, ultimate betrayal and divorce, my last marriage, and, just transitioning to single mama of 3 kids and, going through the process of healing and shattering limiting beliefs, I realized mindset and relationships are really, really what I love to do. But I still love doing nutrition as well. I just don't do it as much. And, so I want to make sure I'm sprinkling some in here and there. So speaking of, when I was seeing clients as a nutritionist, I don't do that anymore. A lot of it was people just, wanting to lose weight, to look and feel their very best. But I mostly worked with autoimmune patients and others who had Lyme disease and a lot of gut health. Gut health is huge because gut health was the culprit to every single one of those, whether it was losing weight, autoimmune, Lyme, you name it. Your gut health is the key to your overall health. It's the key to your brain health. Remember, for those of you who haven't heard some of those episodes, I suggest you go back and listen to some of my episodes from the first season, which is probably going to be, 1 through 20 or 30 episodes, the first, that really talk about brain health, mental health. So mental diseases, there's nothing wrong with you. It is a sign of poor gut health, okay? Most of your neurotransmitters are produced in your gut. 80% of your immune system's in your gut. So if you're not feeling your very best, if you're struggling with anxiety, brain fog, depression, bipolar, even schizophrenia, they're even finding that going through to a full keto diet is is making massive, massive improvements in those who suffer from schizophrenia. So that tells you a lot about the diet. But your gut health is responsible for your brain health. I suffered from anxiety and panic attacks and even depression off and on throughout my late teens and through my 20s, even up until my early 30s. But that was from the Lyme disease. And I just thought there was something wrong with me. I thought I need to take anxiety medication. I need to be on an antidepressant. What's wrong with me? Why me? I never once thought it was the food I was shoving down my throat. That things were much different back then, right? By the time y'all listen to this, I'm going to be 44 years old. As I'm recording, still got about a week left of being 43. And so when in my 20s, that's been over 20 years. So there's been massive improvements and changes in not only science and discovery, but in our foods as well, right? Some things are worse though, but I had no idea that taking the proper supplements, probiotic, digestive enzymes, magnesium, fish oil, the right methyl B vitamins, and just eating foods that did not cause some sort of overgrowth or leaky gut, staying away from the sugar, the dyes, the artificial sweeteners, the wheat, the genetically modified corn, all of those things were wreaking havoc on my gut. That was the reason that I had those mental diseases. But I didn't know that for a really long time. I just thought it was something wrong with me. And honestly, I don't know when or if I would have learned it if I wouldn't have decided in the midst of my battle with chronic Lyme disease, if I wouldn't have decided to learn from Lyme disease and allow it to be my teacher instead of me being in a victim mindset, which was getting me nowhere. So I'm going to segue into what today's episode is about, which is how to eat healthy to lose weight, but just to do it easy, right? We overthink, or I don't, but most of you overthink what you eat. You overthink eating healthy. How do you eat healthy and lose weight and it not be so fucking difficult and stressful? Because let's face it, the reason that people do juice cleanses and starvation diets and fucking Ozempic and go to the extremes and spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, at least hundreds of dollars on bullshit fucking pills, supplements, injections, surgeries, right? Putting their body through some unsafe measures like some of these fasts and things like that are not healthy for everybody. But they don't do anything either. Everybody does that shit. They go to the extreme, may or may not have any, any improvements, but they didn't change their eating habits. So when they stop injecting, when they start eating again, right? They stop taking the pill, the weight comes back on. It comes on faster and more of it. Okay. I've had 3 kids. I gained 25 pounds with my first, 30 to 35 with my second, and about 40 with my third. And most of that was true baby weight, especially with my first kid. It really was. But it was not easy to lose weight. And with each child, losing the baby weight and getting back in shape was fucking harder every single time. And after my third one was born, I was keto when I was pregnant because I didn't know I was pregnant at first. And I maintained that diet, other than I did start to add in complex carbs because I'm very prone to being anemic. I always have been. And blood sugar issues is just not fun, especially when you're pregnant. And so I did start to incorporate complex carbs. But when Broden, my youngest, was born, I was straight back into keto when he was done nursing. So he didn't nurse very long. I've never produced a lot of breast milk. Let's just be honest here. And so it was harder to lose weight, but it wasn't anything other than my age. I'd gained more. I had 3 kids. I was homeschooling. I was the controller for 6 entities. It was a little harder to lose weight in the sense of time commitment. I was running around crazy. So sometimes I just ate what I could. I was on the fly. I was on the go. Eating later than I should. My point is that I have overcome all of it. I have done the work. I've lost the weight, but not just lost it, got tight and in shape again. I know what it takes, my friends. You're listening to someone who's overcome chronic Lyme disease and healed myself 100% by learning to use food as my medicine and not my poison. And so I promise I know what I'm talking about. So let's get to it. It's simple. It really is. And like I said, the reason you go to the great, desperate, excessive lengths to lose weight is because all the data out there, all the different people, the blogs, the articles, they put such contradicting information out on how to eat, how to lose weight, what's the newest fad diet, do this, not that, don't eat this, don't eat that way. No, don't eat all healthy fats. Don't do keto. Make sure you have some carbs. It is, dark chocolate at night. There's so much shit out there. I understand because before I had learned how to eat for my body, I was in that boat of like, what does the media say now on how we should eat? And honestly, I don't know why, but sometimes doing the easiest thing is the hardest. But guys, I'm going to make it real easy for you. The reason I'm such a great nutritionist and was super successful with my clients is because I just told them like it was and I kept it simple. You don't need to count anything. You don't need to count your fucking calories, your grams of fat. The only thing you want to look at if you want to count, look at those grams of sugar. Sugar alcohols count. But eating healthy all the time and to lose weight, it's easy. Stick to 2 meals a day. If you're having a lazy day, you don't do much, you're very sedentary, 1 meal a day with some healthy snacks. Lower carb is definitely a winner. Dinner, lightest meal of the day. A minimum of 3 hours before you lay down to relax or go to bed, because when you lay down, your food doesn't digest so well, and digestion is a north to south process. And we need a big meal late in the day. We don't digest it as good because our digestive system gets tired. And then when you go lay down and there's all that food to process that wasn't quite processed and digested, it turns into gut dysbiosis and you get leaky gut. And you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit. You got gas. You have, maybe you're constipated. You have diarrhea. You feel like shit. You're tired. Your blood sugar's fucked up. Do not wake up in the morning and eat a bunch of shit. Do not wake up and eat fucking processed carbs, dyes, artificial sweeteners, none in your coffee, table sugar, all that crap. You don't need it. When you wake up in the morning, have your hot coffee. If you're a coffee drinker, add in some MCT oil, which is medium chain triglyceride, which is a healthy fat. It's amazing for your blood sugar. It's amazing for suppressing your appetite. It's damn good for your brain health because it's fat and our brain's mostly fat. It is absolutely beneficial all the fucking way around. And ladies, good for your skin, good for your complexion, your hair, your nails. Have a little collagen in it. If not, add it to your tea. I love an Earl Grey tea. I even put a little super creamer in it. Okay? Call it my little London fog. Okay? But start your morning off with liquids. That MCT oil, it's tasteless. You can put it in hot water. You can put it in your tea. You can put it in your coffee. And it is really amazing for keeping that blood sugar balanced. So you were getting a really good dose of healthy fats. It's going to keep you satiated for a bit. Okay. And then, try to wait at least an hour. You want to go about 14 hours minimum between the last meal of your previous day and the first bite of food the next day. Hence the word breakfast, breaking fast breakfast. It's just gotten so confusing to where we think breakfast is mandatory, necessary, and needs to be a fucking 5-course meal full of shit. Breakfast is simply a term for when is the time that you break your fast the next day. It's not a required meal. Stop thinking that this isn't the fucking 1990s food pyramid, guys. It's not. We're not stupid. We don't need a food pyramid. We don't need someone to tell us how many macros, right? What food groups. We're adults here listening. You know what you're doing, that's what's wrong. Stop overeating. Lunch needs to be your biggest meal of the day. Lunch is typically my first meal of the day. But if you need a little help, you don't need to eat breakfast. I want you to stop thinking breakfast. Lunch could be breakfast because maybe lunch is the first time you're breaking your fucking fast from eating the night before, the day before, right? So that would be your breakfast because you're breaking your fast. It's all about that mind switch, right? Flipping those little thoughts of, oh, we are so trained by the media and the bullshit out there for 20, 30, 40, 50 fucking years that we don't even fucking realize, that's really not what it is, right? You're not a fucking robot. You're not a sheep in the flock. You're the fucking shepherd. You're your own self. We need to start using our brain, our common sense, and we know how to eat. We really do. I can tell you every little thing to do, but I'm telling you the things that are the most important because these are the game changers, guys. Lower that fucking sugar intake. Unless you are a fucking athlete and you do that for a living and you're fucking running triathlons, 1 to 2 meals a day. Lunch is your biggest meal of the day. If you need some carbs or complex carbs, white rice better than brown rice. Potatoes. Just don't overeat it. Don't overeat it. Watch out on those fruits, guys. We eat so much fucking fruit. It's fructose in our bodies. Anything that turns into glucose or fructose in our bodies, it feeds the candida. It feeds all the unwanted microorganisms that we have in our gut that are giving us gut dysbiosis, leaky gut, candida overgrowth, right? All those uncomfortable symptoms that we don't like, making us look bloated, looking like we're 6 months pregnant when we're not pregnant at all. Okay. It's like, oh, when's your baby born? Not pregnant. I'm just severely fucking bloated. That's not fun. And hey, I understand. Trust me. When it's around my menstrual cycle, I swear I got 5 pounds of water weight and it's frustrating. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm not going to go to the water park like this. So guys, you know what to do. I want you to do these things that I'm telling you. If you incorporate these things with the common sense stuff, you're going to have some weight loss. You're going to feel better. We think weight loss, but we don't think we want to feel better. I don't care. I don't care if I feel like shit. Don't want to look like shit. Well, that's kind of scary. It would kind of suck if you got to the weight you wanted to be, but you got fucking, got some mental problems going on because of it. Or you've got fucking blood sugar issues out the ass, passing out everywhere. That's not fun. All right. You got to get your blood sugar balanced out, and you do that by eating healthy fats, protein, minimal carbs, and minimal sugar. And your fruits included in that. Stay away from those higher sugar fruits. You want a banana, you want some of the higher sugar fruits, grapes and stuff, do it in the middle of the fucking day when you're the most active or before you're going to do something super active, right? Where it's going to be a fuel in your body that's used and burned. If not, it's going to sit there. It's going to make your ass bigger. We don't want that, okay? Clean sources of meat, clean protein. Protein's important. Muscle fights fat, okay? Muscle helps you burn more calories and helps your metabolism. Protein's important. Dinner needs to be your smallest, lightest meal of the day, preferably with 0 carbs at all, okay? I want you to focus on the green leafy vegetables at dinner. I want you to focus on some healthy, clean sources of protein and your healthy fats. That's what dinner is. And honestly, I try to eat by 6 p.m., anywhere from 5:30 to 7 p.m. is the latest. And I really, honestly, only do that when I have my kids because that's just the way it is. I got my youngest that's doing competitive soccer for MLS. Our schedule gets a little crazy. Keep your biggest meal at lunch. Again, it's going to be healthy fats, vegetables, protein, and that is where you would add your complex carbs. Brown rice is not better than white rice. It's not 1990s. Okay. We're not supermodels here. We're not eating fucking brown rice and apples. White rice. In fact, I'm going to give you a little tip. When you cook white rice, basmati, white rice, or white potatoes, when you cook them and then you let them cool and then you eat them, you want to know what happens? You get some prebiotic fiber in there, but that fiber actually helps fight off some unwanted organisms in your gut. It's actually really, really good for your gut, and it feeds the good guys in your gut. That's what's important. Take a really good probiotic, digestive enzymes. You can find those if you go to my website, Revived by Janna. I have my Full Script account, which is my practitioner account for supplements that anyone can log into. And you can see my protocols that I have there for gut health and anxiety and stress and things like that. All right, guys, a lot to soak in here. Guess what? A lot to digest. I know that was corny, but I had to say it. So if you have any questions or you want more information, hey, you know where to find me. Okay, I'll talk to y'all soon.